Welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast with your hosts Bill Algie, Dennis Talbot, and Alan Tate. We are three guys who have one thing in common, a love of rock and roll. Our goal is to talk about all things rock. We hope you find this show intriguing, funny, and occasionally highly opinionated. Enjoy!
Hey, welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast. Bill, Dennis, and Alan here.
Hello.
We're all three here together this week, which is weird because it's only happening now about every other week, every second or third week. I think it's because it's like we can't take it.
Yeah. Where was I last week? What wasn't on?
We did that interview with Freddie Ordine.
Freddie Ordine.
That was a weird time or something, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was a lunchtime meeting.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
See, we keep scheduling these interviews at lunch so that Dennis can't join us.
That's fine with me.
I wouldn't say that's planned.
Yeah.
But
and for those of y'all not looking at the video, Dennis and Al, or Bill and Al, just winked really hard.
Yeah.
We're hard winkers.
You guys just tear it up.
I'm just sit back. Better than being hard wankers.
Be a soft wanker, thank you. Oh boy, that's bad.
That's what she said.
Oh, we're back.
Back.
All
right. Hey, I wanted to a shout out. A little quick shout out. So yesterday, so we're recording today, which is Tuesday. Last night on Monday night, I was looking at our Facebook page. We were at 985. So I sent a desperation email out, or a Facebook post on my personal Facebook page and on Twitter, and said we are so close to 1,000. I didn't tell anybody how close we were. We were so close to 1,000. And, we really want to get there. So help us get there. And sure enough, the numbers just started pouring in. We didn't pay for it either, by the way, just saying. So the numbers just started pouring in. And I think now we are sitting at 1,047. Is that right?
There you go.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something in that ballpark. We got, it's not quite that. It's close. But anyway, we're over at that. We broke 1,000 likes, broke 1,000 followers. Yeah. I was happy as a clam. I'm like, that's some pretty cool shit. So I was like responding to everybody. And actually today there's still, people are still friending it. So if you listen, because you're hearing this, that's how we know you're listening. Then do us a favor and shamelessly share it on your page and get us some more likes, man. We really want it. And we really want people to listen, but if you listen, honestly, we want you to listen, but we really do this for us. We don't really give a shit. So, otherwise we'd have quit like, I don't know,
5 years ago,
4.5 years ago.
Exactly.
But, just kidding. And I see that we're all wearing our corporate shirts tonight. So we're self-promoting, which is good. We're all good. For those of you not watching, we all have our Ages of Rock podcast t-shirts.
I'm actually due for a new one. This here, I've washed it so many times, it's starting to get a little crackly. So
I've worn mine about 4 times.
This is actually the first time I've ever worn mine.
Really? I wear mine a lot. Yeah. I wear mine a lot, and it's been
I have the long sleeve shirt as well, and I wore that one Sunday because we had our first Rockin' Pod planning meeting on Sunday, so I had to wear that and pimp myself out to the people.
Yeah, there you go.
I was unfamiliar with.
Next time we'll have to wear our Best Buy shirts.
There you go.
I was going to save that for when Chris comes on the show.
Absolutely. So Sinzak, if you're listening, buddy, when you come on the show, we're going to be corporate.
So you better have a blue shirt too.
That's right. If you have some like red check dumbass shirt, we're going to call you out on it.
That's right. It's got to be a blue polo shirt or it doesn't count.
Not a Joe Polo.
Not a Joe Polo shirt.
No Joe Polo shirts. None of that crap.
We love you, Joe.
We do. He's awesome. Anyway, so tonight, we'll get into it in a little bit, but our topic tonight, in light of tomorrow being the inauguration of the 46th president of the United States,
which when everybody listens to this, it will be yesterday.
It will be yesterday. We thought we'd do an episode about music and politics. So we'll talk about that a little bit more, but that's coming up. So anybody got any music news? I got a couple records. I know Dennis got a couple records. Any other music stuff out there?
Phil Spector passed away at age 81 in
Saw
prison
that.
the other day.
Yeah,
And
that was very
today,
interesting.
January the 19th, our beloved Dolly Parton has turned 75.
Really?
She shares a birthday with Noah. Noah's birthday is today too.
That's
That is
crazy.
correct.
I saw the greatest meme yesterday. It was her dressed in her best little whorehouse in Texas thing, and they
I
said,
saw
"What?"
that one.
It said, "What the hell did Jolene have on that?"
One other piece of entertainment news that's pretty
Peace?
cool.
Peace.
Oh, over the weekend, Betty White turned 99.
Yeah, Betty
Did
White.
she really?
She did.
Wow.
I met her back in 2012 in Philadelphia.
I've been
Well,
Such
she was
a
only
nice-
80 then. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
She
Mine-
was like 88 or so. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
My
Yeah,
great grandmother and her were pen pals years and years and years ago. My great grandmother was older, and she back then that was a school project, and Betty White I don't know how it happened, but she became pen pals. And when she was married to Alan Lutton, she used to send pictures to my grandmother signed, and every time about her pets and all that stuff like that. And for years corresponded with my great grandmother.
That
That's
is
crazy.
very cool.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
So how was Betty White when you met her?
She was so nice.
I bet she is.
And
I
the
bet she's
thing
genuinely
is,
pretty nice.
the thing is, what caught me off guard the most of all is when she held my hands. Her hands were so warm. I mean, it felt like my hands were freezing compared to hers. It's like, wow, either she has a cold heart or I have a warm heart.
You have a heart of stone.
Yeah.
But whatever. We're not counting.
But yes, I get to say that I met Betty White.
That's cool, man.
That was
That's
very
cool.
cool. That's
Very
probably
cool.
one of my favorite celebrity encounters.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, above Gene Simmons, I'll say it right now.
Wow.
That's
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
Who'd have thunk it?
I don't think I got anything news wise. I was telling you guys earlier.
I
I
have
did watch
news.
the Ozzy new show on Travel Channel about the Believe, or do we believe, or
The
something like
Osbournes want to believe.
that. It's fun. I mean, though, it's just to sit there and watch those three just curse, the F-bomb every other word. It's just hilarious.
I can do that
What's
I can do that every Tuesday night.
It's
right
funny. Yeah. It's funny.
Laura and I
Actually,
watched.
Yeah.
Laura and I watched the 9 lives of Ozzy Osbourne a couple of weeks ago, and I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. I gotta watch.
Have you guys seen the Ozzy thing where him and Jack are traveling across the country?
I've seen a few of those episodes.
That's a really
No.
good. It's a history thing.
That is
it's a really good.
It is much better than the Osbournes want to believe, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
we watched all of them. I thought it was really pretty cool. I mean, it was typical Ozzy stuff, but I mean, it was kind of neat to see Jack in a different light than what you saw him, before on the show, and kind of what you know about him.
Yeah,
He's like
Jack's a pretty
trying to take
talented
care of his
producer.
dad and that kind of stuff, and
Yeah,
it's cool. And Ozzy's just insane. That dude eats a half a gallon of ice cream every day. It's like that's what keeps him going. He's just like, it's funny. You get yourself a bowl, and he takes the whole thing, and he does it all the time. It's great. I do have some music news, and I have some local music news that is related to our topic today.
Oh yeah.
So, John Schaefer, who's the guitarist, primary writer for Iced Earth, lives here in Columbus, has turned himself in. He was on the FBI's most wanted list because he entered the Capitol building during the supposed insurrection.
The siege.
I'm just going to leave it there. A couple weeks ago, and was using bear spray, which is like mace on steroids. And he has 6 counts against him, so he's turned himself in. Oddly enough, Iced Earth I don't think's done anything for a couple of years. They go out every now and then.
Another year or so.
Well, but as a band, they've already put out they immediately within like a couple hours had put out a statement that says, that's him and we're us and whatever. And actually, I think really what's true is he's Iced Earth and there are people hired.
I was getting ready to say, it doesn't matter what they say. He owns the name. So.
He owns the name and all the other stuff is my understanding. But you know what? It's very possible I've met him before. I did not really know his name. I knew he's lived here. I've had people tell me that they've talked to him a few times. Oh, you need to get him on your show and stuff like that. I'm like, but I don't know the dude at all. So I don't I'm just going to call him and go, hey. He's gonna go, what?
That's how I got Rudy Sarzo on the show. Hey,
that's how we got Joe.
Get a hold of the FBI. They have his number.
I'll ask somebody down at the police station.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it was just ironic that we're doing this today and that happened yesterday or the other day. So pretty ironic. All right, album wise, I've got two. I think we haven't done this for a while. I don't think we've done the album thing.
Well, I haven't had anything for a while either, and we haven't been together.
So I went. I don't know if I showed this or not, but I bought. So this is a Jennifer Nettles. I don't know if you know Jennifer Nettles. She is part of
Sugarland.
Which I like Sugarland. I've liked them for a long time. I did see them in Indianapolis at the State Fair one time. Not the year that they were the band that the stage fell apart in the storm and stuff like that, and people got killed and stuff. So, but this is a really good record. I mean, it is country, but her voice, I love her voice, so I bought it. And I got it. It was right after Christmas or right before Christmas. I think it was after. Barnes and Noble had a bunch of records, 25% off and 50% off. So this was 50% off, so I got it for $10. So
didn't they do that a couple years ago?
They do it all the time.
Oh, yeah. So I remember you called me.
You got to pay. I saw somebody post something that says Barnes and Noble's got half off. And so I'm like racing there.
I wish I'd known that.
I literally, you can ask Lisa. I walk up there. She's like, oh my God. Because I had a stack of records about 3 inches thick. And she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I think these are all on sale. And if they're all on sale, I'm buying all of them because these are great deals. I mean, there was some pretty cool stuff in there. Right. And then I got up there and the only one that was actually on sale was the Jennifer Nettles. Oh. But if the rest of them would have been on sale, I bought them because there was
kind of what that would do at Walmart, right around Christmas time. I was $15 a piece. I'm buying every one that I want,
Yeah. So I got that. And then over the week, Friday, I took the day off because Noah went back on Saturday to West Point. So happy birthday, Noah. So we went to a couple record shops and then we went to the mall, and in the mall they got this kind of retro store, but they had vinyl, and they had it was a used vinyl. And this record is in, you can't really see it because it's all glossy, but it's Night Ranger Big Life album, and it is it's in excellent condition, and the record is in excellent condition. So this is probably the last Night Ranger record that I'll probably buy, because actually their record that they put out, the last LP they put out, and I can't think of what it's called, Don't Let It Stop, something like that.
I don't remember.
That I went to see them on that tour. That record is a great record. I'll have to, if they ever put that on vinyl, I'd like to have it. But those are the two I've gotten. I did get my Kiss This CD that I ordered from the group. Phil and those guys played on that, and it was a tribute band record thing. But it's great. It's a great record. I've ordered something else that's coming soon that trying to figure out what I ordered that last week. So we'll do that some other time. But that's what I've got. I forgot to bring that Kiss This thing, so it's in the car.
Cool.
Because it's the CD. I still have a CD player in my car, so I can listen to those.
Yeah, I don't have.
You guys probably don't have one anymore, do you?
My car does. My truck does not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my Explorer does not, but my Saturn does.
Yeah.
It's a rarity.
Kelly's Lexus does, but that was the last year they put that in there.
Yep.
It's
amazing.
One. Yeah. All right. I got 3. I got one on the way, but it won't be here till next week. I did get the 25th anniversary 180 gram of Rubberneck by the Toadies. It has one of my favorite all-time songs on it, Possum Kingdom.
Never heard of it.
You've heard the song Possum Kingdom.
You've heard Possum Kingdom.
I guarantee you have.
Okay.
It's a cool album. They just, like I said, I didn't even know it was available. I did get a copy of Dio Last in Line. Cool thing about this one, though, it is a 2018.
Oh, so it's 180 grams, so it's not original.
No, but
it's not an OG.
It's on blue vinyl. I saw clear blue vinyl.
You
I like
cheat,
that.
man. You don't play the game. You got to find the OG.
I don't care about the OG.
You need the OG, man.
Why?
Why? Because it's the OG.
I found the original of Holy Diver.
And you left it.
They wanted $79 for it. Yeah, it ain't happening.
What?
Yeah. You know what I paid for this one? You don't want to know.
$19.99.
$50.
That's stupid.
I know. Try to buy a Dio album. You can't find them.
No, I got two of my own. I don't need any more.
So last one I finally got in the mail, and this is a previous guest we had. I got Donnie V, Beautiful Things in the mail.
Oh, cool.
It is a fan-fucking-tastic album. I really liked it. I went into it with no
low expectations,
preconceived expectations or anything. I'm just going to say, because, it's all like stop the hate, share the love, save the world, this kind of shit. And I'm like, I'm like, okay, but I like Don. I like Enough's Enough and everything. Dude, this is a fantastic fucking album. I told Alan, I said, I got it. What do you think? I was like, what did you think I thought of it? And he's like, I bet you didn't like it. I'm like, no, dude, I liked it a lot. And because I'm particular anyway. But no, Donnie, great job. I really, really, really like it. I think you guys, if get a chance to pick this up or listen to it, I'll loan it to you. Real good job though. Like it. It's a good album. Just to kind of sit back and just kind of relax and just listen. And I like it. Can't say enough about it.
I'm trying to figure out what I bought. Kiss this.
And I do have, but like I said, I do have one more coming from the auction, but it's coming from New York, so it takes a little longer than I get from Ashley. But it was another expensive one. Those two albums pretty well kicked my ass for this month, of course. But it was an OG. It's an original, I think. But
cool.
Those things, some of those albums anymore, they're just fucking outrageous.
Yeah, they're crazy. It's crazy.
Anything it's 80s. It's hard to do.
Yep,
so.
it is. All right. We done? Ready to get rolling?
Yeah, I'm ready to roll.
All right. So tonight we're going to talk about politics and music. We are not
absolutely not
talking about our personal views about politics.
None.
It's
whatsoever.
really about how politics has played a role in how music has played a role in politics and vice versa. So,
right.
And there's been some pretty significant. I mean, I actually did some homework, which
I did too. I've been reading
the hell out of everybody.
I've read a bunch today.
But so just to start out, just some background. Politics and music started back in the 40s. There was some, music that came out in the 40s during the war that was not controversial, but was people really starting to take sides. And in the 60s, during the racial issues that were going on and stuff like that. I mean, a lot of songs came out then supporting those. Folk music came out. Vietnam War, there were tons of stuff. The Beatles and John Lennon became very polarizing with their politics and stuff like that. So there was a huge amount of that stuff going on. I think my first real memory, when I think about politics, is probably, or politics and music is really about, John Lennon, the Imagine song and that kind of stuff, and those things back in the 60s, late or early 70s. What do you guys? What were your first?
Well, mine was more like Peter, Paul, and Mary. I mean that kind of stuff like that. One of course, Pete Seeger, and you also had like, of course, because I like Arlo Guthrie, but Woody Guthrie. I mean, you sang his song a million times. This land is your land,
right?
I mean, that's an early folk. That's where you're talking like was it 40s? Probably 40s.
That's some of that's in the 40s and 50s, yeah.
Right. But mine are mainly, and then just about everybody at Woodstock, everything that was played at Woodstock had some sort of politics kind of background. Not all of them, I wouldn't say all of them, but a lot of it had a lot of Crosby, Stills, and Nash, and Young, and Neil Young himself, people like that. There was a lot.
Well, Woodstock itself was
right. It was
pretty much a political statement of
right.
free, free everything.
Free penicillin.
Free love.
Right.
Yeah, that was after.
And then, Joan Baez, she's always talking, telling her stories and stuff. That's my introduction was all that stuff. My parents, not my parents, but I know people's my parents' age. But
I would say the 3 anti-war songs that stand out most to me, political, anti-war, whatever, because they are really the 3 songs that I'm. Edwin Starr's War, Creedence Clearwater Revival's Fortunate Son,
right.
Yeah,
and Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA, which humorously enough, Ronald Reagan tried to use in his re-election campaign, completely unaware of what the song was really about.
Right.
But of course, he got the old Bruce Springsteen smackdown. You can't do that.
and that's interesting because depending on, I don't know if you guys looked this up or not, but depending on like the arenas and stuff, I was reading that ASCAP and some of the RAII, or is it RAIAA? Sorry, I got my vowels mixed up.
You're gonna have a vowel movement.
Vowel movement. I did. It was wrong. Depending on where you were, arenas buy a overall license for music, and when they have that overall license, then really anybody in that arena can play any music they want to, and nobody can really stop them. So it's interesting. There's been a lot of controversy about that for over the years, and in a whole lot of different venues. I mean, with a lot of different
well, and a lot of people too. I know
presidents.
I was reading a thing today with Trump. They were talking that he actually paid for the licensing for Rockin' in the Free World, and I guess they went after him, and he was like going, but they basically come back and said, well, we paid for the rights to use it. They couldn't use the video. You could use the song, and it's basically, well, okay, well, I don't like that you're using it, but
well, and that's the thing. Legally, if they paid for it, there's nothing you can do about it.
You can't do anything about it. Now, a lot of people didn't, I know, who was it that was always using the Fleetwood Mac songs? Was that
Bill Clinton?
Bill Clinton, yeah. And they were.
I remember when they did the first inauguration. I think they were using the song "Don't Stop."
That's it. Don't Stop.
Which, even though they didn't ask for permission, I guess the members of Fleetwood Mac didn't care, and it also kind of helped get Fleetwood Mac back together for that.
Right.
What ultimately ended up that really successful tour in 96, 97.
Yeah.
Of course, that's when the Eagles and Kiss and everybody was getting back together. So that was a wonderful time to be a rock fan.
Right.
So I can give you a little quick rundown of 33 songs recently that have been an issue with politician that the artists have said, no, you can't use my song.
Okay.
So do you want me to give you this quick rundown? So Queen versus Donald Trump, he was using "We Are the Champions." They said, hey, stop that. So he ended up stopping it. Actually, he said, hey, we've kind of paid for this, but they looked at it and went, okay, we'll just pull it anyway. Actually, Nickelback didn't like the fact they were using that Donald Trump was using photograph and showing pictures.
Right.
And so that got pulled. Rihanna, during, cause he was using, one of her songs during the, Don't Stop the Music was playing during one of the events. And, she asked him to stop. Farrell, Don't Worry, Be Happy. That was pulled. Actually, he sent them a cease and desist letter. Let's see. Explosions in the Sky was used by Ted Cruz during his run back in 2016. Bruce Springsteen. We talked about that, right? Born in the USA. That was Ronald Reagan, Bob Dole, and Pat Buchanan. So he covered 3.
Right.
Oh, seriously, this just popped up an ad as I'm reading this. You've got to be kidding me.
Don't you hate that?
And I can't get back to it. You mother father.
See, you didn't make it through the clickbait.
I didn't. You got to be kidding me.
Oh, I hate that.
That sucks balls.
So while you're getting back to it, hey, another one I didn't realize that was such a MC5. I didn't realize that they were as political as they were.
Yeah. All right, keep going. I'm going to try to find this thing again.
All right, that's one thing I was looking through. Of course, you had the Plastic Ono Band, which was, of course, instead of she's writing political stuff plus breaking up the Beatles.
She didn't break up the Beatles; they were breaking up anyway.
But I didn't realize. But I was just going through a lot of these. I didn't realize. I mean, of course, with Jefferson Airplane, Creedence. Those, Stones had a few songs, Street Fighting Man, that was, basically a political statement. Then, of course, your punk rock, all your Sex Pistols, the Clash, that was a big one. Black Flag. Some of the other ones I was coming across, because the Sex Pistols, God Save the Queen, they were against all the monarchy. And then look at what happened with MTV, back in '90s, with the Rock the Vote.
Rock the Vote.
They started, getting under that train. I know, of course, and what was it? Dave Mustaine was in.
He was getting ready to say
when I can't remember but 90. What election would have been right around 90? Would that have been
92?
Clinton?
It was Clinton.
Yeah. I remember them going to the conventions. And I know Dave Mustaine was at one of them. I don't know if he was at I guess he would have been at the Republican one, wasn't it? Or was he at the Democrat one? I don't remember.
But I don't know. We should probably make sure we know.
We probably need to look at that. But, a lot of his music too, Megadeth, they had, of course, Sympathy for Destruction. And they had a lot of political undertones or overtones.
You mean the Symphony
of Destruction. What did I say? Symphony.
Symphony. I got Sympathy for the Devil.
It's been a long day.
You've had a long few weeks, man.
Yeah. I wonder if the Presidents of the United States, did they ever have a political song?
I don't know. I don't think Lump or Peaches counts.
I don't think Peaches or Lump counts.
And I couldn't tell you any other.
I've got their album. I have to. I don't think they do. You would think that they would have, and look at, you got, I was just looking through here, Kanye, of course, he's even running.
Yeah, and then the big political thing, if you remember, right, is back on September 19th, 1985, when the PMRC came about.
That
and you've
was
got
a wonderful discussion today.
Mrs. Gore.
Yeah, and you got Mrs. Gore and some other chick. I don't know, but I don't remember who the other person was. But I watched some of that today too. I watched actually.
Was it John Denver?
It was John Denver.
Dee Snider.
Yeah, and Frank Zappa.
It doesn't matter who else was on there. John Denver and Dee Snider stole the show.
Well, it was interesting because and John Denver only had like 10 minutes, but he was just John Denver. He was like calm and collected and very well spoken. And the other guys were very well spoken too, I think.
Sure.
But just matter of fact, and I don't need you telling me, what I should be doing and that kind of stuff. And I thought it was amazing. I thought Frank Zappa that started it, because I think he was, in the ones that I watched, he was the first person. I think he was the first person that went, but
right.
He walked in the door and was ready for bear, man. And he's like, he laid him out.
So was D, and D was, I think D come in there and they thought he was going to be this, this
dumb dirtbag,
and he's really,
he's a pretty smart dirtbag.
He's a very he laid it out
he
too.
Is.
And he was, you could just tell they were shitting in their pants, whenever he was talking.
Well, you walk in, and the odd thing is Frank Zappa walks in. He's got a suit on. His hair's cut. He doesn't look like Frank Zappa at all. I mean,
right,
like what you would have expected. And John Denver walks in there looking like John Denver, right. And Dee Snider walks in there looking like Dee Snider with just no makeup. I mean, his hair is like,
no, Dee Snider looked like Come Out and Play era Dee Snider.
Yeah,
right.
He was out there.
Which that was about the time that album came out, so it makes sense that he looked like.
He actually had it was his teeth chiseled at that point too.
I don't know if they were or not.
I think they were. I think it was when he had them cut
on the video.
down.
You couldn't really see it because it was all kind of from the side, so you couldn't really see it. But it was to me, watching that today, and if you get to, if anybody listening or watching gets the chance, go back. If you just
Sure.
Google that,
Right.
you can watch all 3 of the videos on YouTube.
Right.
And it's amazing to see guys that I think to your point, the senators and Congress had no respect for them, that they thought they were going to come in there and just,
Sure.
be ignorant or whatever is what I think they thought. And they were very well spoken. And Dee Snider just laid Tipper Gore out. I mean, here's the 3 things she said in this press conference that I watched, and here's what she said, and here's the actual truth about what she said. I mean, he just filleted her. I mean, it was amazing that
didn't he even say what, because they asked what the SMFs were, and he actually just looked just flat out. I mean, didn't even stutter.
No, didn't stutter. I mean, it was just amazing that they thought that these were ignorant people. And you don't get in the business, you don't get in the music or any business for that matter and be stupid and not have knowledge and not be willing to protect your own. And I think that's what they were trying to do.
But I think maybe they thought Zappa and Snyder was going to be ignorant. I think
I don't think that.
I think as for John Denver, I thought maybe because of the type of music that he put out, they thought he was going to be on their side.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is too, when they talked about Rocky Mountain High, that's where he got in trouble, right? So he had radio stations banning that song because some politician said that they were talking about getting stoned.
Right.
And in the video, he talks about, he goes, have you ever been to the Rocky Mountains? Have you ever stood at the base of the Rocky Mountains and looked up in the awe of the majesty of what's happening there? And, you just, as you listen to him, you're like, these people just made shit up to fill in the blank they wanted. I mean, that's really what happened. They just filled in their own blank, and it was crazy.
Really the bad thing too, real quick, is putting the stickers on the albums just made sales go.
It
worked. It was a word. It just worked against them.
Yeah. I mean, it was interesting because they asked Dee Snider if he thought that that people should be able to buy records and not know what's on them. And his response was, well, if my son brings home a record or gets a record, I look at the record and I look at the cover. If the cover's got some chick with her legs spread and a pentagram, he's not buying that.
Right.
He's not old enough to have something like that. And if I look at the back of it and the songs on the back of it, I go, if I raise my eye, if it gets me, then he's not buying that. Right. Because a lot of times it's on the front cover and it's on the back. You can tell by the way by what they're called. Unlike what, and then he made some comment like, unlike what Tipper Gore thinks, which is she just makes her own stuff up. which is really good. It's like
stick it to her.
Just sticks it to her. But I do have the Filthy 15, which is what started the whole thing. Which is so I'll read off the Filthy 15 for you, and I have it on paper. So and I didn't get it from EW, so they can suck it. Bastards. I unfriended them today. Anyway, all right. So this is the Filthy 15.
Right. So
it's Judas Priest, Eat Me Alive from Defenders of the Faith. Motley Crue, Bastard from Shout at the Devil. Now, I don't know those 2 songs very well. I mean, I haven't went back and listened to them. Now,
Bastard, you know that one.
I'm sure I do, but I just, I mean, I listen to music for the music and for the lyrics and stuff, but I'm not like diving into it.
Gotcha.
Now this one, however, Prince, Darling Nikki from Purple Rain, probably a little risky.
Well, one of the lines in the song is masturbating with a magazine. I mean,
yeah.
And then no subtlety to that at all.
No. And then there's Sheena Easton, Sugar Walls, which is
also a Prince song. He wrote that song.
He did write that song. That's correct. Wasp, Animal, Buck Like a Beast.
Right.
Meaningful Fate, Into the Coven, which that was about the occult. Which, ironically enough,
did you call them Meaningful Fate?
I said Merciful Fate. Merciful Fate. I can't read my own handwriting. Merciful Fate.
Man,
I have it on
Mike
paper.
G was
That
going to
one-
rip you up.
He probably will. All right. Anyway, it's called Into the Coven, and it's ironic because it's an occult. They said it was an occult song, but it's on an album called Melissa, which seems like an odd name for a record about the occult.
Right.
Anyway, so then there's Vanity.
Melissa was a witch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vanity, which is Vanity 6, which is
Sure.
Strap on Robbie Baby, which is
Hey,
about
I wonder
her.
who wrote that song.
Yeah, another Prince song.
Mm.
And
I think I'm not sure about that one.
I think it is a Prince song.
I would be willing to bet that it is.
Well, I'm sure he had something to do with it.
Yeah, I'm sure he did too. Then there's Def Leppard, which I didn't realize this. High and Dry was on there on the list.
Really?
Didn't realize it. Yeah. Twisted Sister, We're Not Gonna Take It. And that was on there because it promoted violence.
Well, High and Dry.
So does Looney Tunes, but
The High and Dry album, I think the phrase high,
Oh,
they
it
must
could be.
talking
Yeah.
about getting high. But I
Yeah.
think the song Me and My Wine is on that album.
Oh.
So promoting alcohol. I would
Well,
say
that it's just the song. So what I listed here was a song. So the song was High and Dry.
Oh,
Is
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. But ironically, about the Twisted Sister thing, you said it was Looney Tunes. And on the video, Dee Snider describes We're Not Gonna Take It in the video. And he
Right.
says it's Wile E. Coyote.
oh, it is. It is.
It was completely
It
based
is.
on Wile E. Coyote.
If
So,
you watch it, it is.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. It's just funny. Ironic.
Yeah.
All right. Madonna, Dress You Up from Like a Virgin. Cyndi Lauper, She Bop.
Yep. Sheba.
Yep. AC/DC, Let Me Put My Love Into You.
That's pretty direct. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you pay attention to the lyrics of that song, it's to the point.
Yeah.
Black Sabbath, Trashed. The Mary Jane Girls, In My House. And then the last one was
Is that a
Venom.
euphemism for in my cooch?
Yeah, I think so. And then the last one was a band called Venom, and the record was called Possessed. Was a single. So that's what that was the Filthy 15, and they were calling it porn rock. That was the PMRC's
Jeez.
thing. So
I have
as we all know,
I have
all
a
have
challenge
labels.
for people that are listening right now. Make us your own Filthy 15 playlist. We could have some fun with that.
There you go.
Just the Gene Simmons songs alone.
Yeah.
You can get 15.
The Gene Simmons catalog is done.
Yes. But considering that 3 of Gene's songs are about a young woman.
Unholy might not be.
Well,
But it might be.
Domino, Kristen,
Domino.
Going Blind. Come on.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. 2-timer. I mean, there's like a list.
That's
So,
right.
what are your
Yeah.
thoughts now? Getting back to politics and music. So, people like, say, Bono or especially Pearl Jam. When they're Eddie Vedder, where they talk politics all the time, not necessarily even in their songs, but they're very political, and they are using their whole band as a political statement.
Well, talk about the biggest one that ever happened, right? Which was the Dixie Chicks.
Well,
So do you remember that? Do you remember that situation?
Yeah, well, yeah, I remember that
Yes,
situation.
yeah.
I mean, that happened in England. So the biggest deal with that was they went to England, and they were in England when this occurred, and stood in
Right.
front of the crowd in England and said that they didn't support the Allied invasion, and they were ashamed of the president of the United States
Right.
in a different country.
Right.
It just
Oh, yeah.
hammered their career.
Of course it did.
It was amazing. When I was reading about it, it was like, I mean, I remember it happening. I remember being pissed off about it. I always called them the chicks with dicks anyway, because it was just, I didn't like them.
My
so-
mom calls them the dickless chicks.
Well, that's another one.
Wow.
But it just never got, and never got into them at all. But it harpooned their career for about 15 years. I mean, they ended up finally coming back a little bit later, but
Right.
they were.
I mean, my thought on it is, I just don't. This is just my personal thought. Is I've been ruined by a lot of people because of them just not shutting up. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's like, I want to listen to your music just to to get away from politics and get away from this and get away from that
as an escape.
And I don't mind you writing a song that may be political in a way, but to sit there and because there's some videos of U2 in concert, and the guy who plays bass is just sitting back there going, come on, play some fucking music.
I think his name is Adam Clayton.
Yeah, he's all fucking mad. It's like
Bono can get on a run, man. He can. He can.
But it's like, you know what? You have your beliefs. I don't care. And the thing is, it's got to lately with Gene and Paul. I mean, they just keep talking politics all the time, and I don't care what your politics is. I just are about everything in the world. Just write some music, play some music, make me feel good. I don't. I don't know.
Here's how I feel. I don't care that Gene and Paul are on their Twitter feed talking politics. I don't follow those guys on politics. I don't follow those guys on Twitter. I don't follow them on social media at all.
Right.
They have the right to say what they want. Same with Ted Nugent. The biggest thing about politics and music for me is if I pay $65 for a concert ticket,
right,
I come to hear you sing your music, do your show, whatever. I didn't pay $65 to hear you bash the liberals or the conservatives,
right,
or anything like that. On that stage, you should be a rock star. You should be a country star, pop star, whatever. Leave the politics off the stage.
And and that's true. Like I said, what they do in their own time, that's fine with me. But yeah, when it gets to a point, even with Ted, if he gets up there and starts, just play Wayne Dang Sweet Poo-Tang and shut the fuck up,
You're not going to ever, you're not ever going to go to a Ted Nugent show and not hear a 20-minute rant.
I know
that is never going to happen. So
and then him shooting.
That's where I go. That's where I go take a shit or take a piss or something.
You can't piss a lot long, buddy.
That's true.
Your bladder's not that big.
Yeah. But, when we had Ron Keel on the show, he made it a point. As an artist, I have the right to speak my mind politically.
Sure.
And I totally agree with that. Right. But I just personally don't agree with doing it on stage when people bought your ticket to see your show.
Yeah, so we went to see Richard Marx. Richard Marx is very much a liberal, no questions about it. And I followed him on Twitter for a while. I don't follow him anymore. He's quit posting. He's probably unfriended him at some point because I've had about enough. But it was all the time, right? It was constantly. Right. It wasn't really about him, about his music and stuff. So we went to see him. It was Valentine's Day, or right around Valentine's Day, right? So right before everything shut down. And I told Lisa when we were sitting at dinner, I said, I'm telling you right now, if he goes on this political rant, I'm leaving. You can stay, but I'm done with that shit. I don't want to hear about it. I don't care what his views are. He can have his views and I appreciate those, but I am not paying money tonight to listen to that bullshit. So, and it was funny because I said something to her when we were the other day when I was doing some homework for this, and she goes, yeah, she goes, oh, I remember you saying that. I worried about it. and really, and he never brought it up. It was a great show. He did a great show, and that's perfectly fine. I have no issue with it. I just don't, to your point, I don't want somebody standing in front of me giving me a dissertation about how they feel. Great. I appreciate how you feel. This is not really the audience for that. These people all paid to be entertained. The interesting thing about the Dixie Chicks is, and this is not my view. I'm just, this is what happened. Sure. A lot of country fans are Republicans,
right?
They're conservatives. So you don't stand in front of that fan base. Now they didn't. They were in England. Now I can only imagine. Think about what would have happened had they been in Texas and did that.
Right. Oh, they did.
They wouldn't have made it out of the damn building.
You don't get the death penalty for that here, buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody ain't leaving.
Agree, yeah.
I really do believe that. They would have been storming the stage. It'd have been a mess. Right. But as I was thinking about that, really chicken shitted out or chicks with dicks out and went over to England, and did it over there. But I think that's the thing that just knowing your audience and who you're playing to, that there are a lot of country people are conservative, and that's just
well, onto the point of them going over there and saying that, that was still, social media was still pretty young, even though YouTube had been around. And I believe that somebody over there posted that video on YouTube and then shared it, and that's how it got
exploded.
So
Yeah,
fast.
yeah.
But I would be willing to bet that they did not expect that information was going to get back to the States as quickly as it did.
Yeah, within nanoseconds.
Even no matter where you're at, even if you're in a conservative state or a liberal state, your crowd's still going to be diverse, and you're going to piss a portion of your crowd off whichever direction you go, no matter who it is. Rodney, for example, went and seen Roger Waters and saw the Pink Floyd. So it was a fantastic show, except for the 15 minutes that he sat there and ranted. It's like, fly the pig or do something, build a wall. Don't be talking politics. It's just bullshit. It's like, and he said they were about the point where they were about ready to walk out because it just got stupid, after a while.
So you brought that up. So now, the Foo have made a decision to play they're playing the inauguration. I can't say it.
Dave's always been a liberal. And that's fine. I don't, like I said, his views are his views. The new album, the one song is it's kind of a no war song and stuff. And he has every right to do it. I'm not liking the new album, not because of those two reasons. I didn't think the last album was as good. And I was really hoping that this next one was going to be really good. And I'm not been in a lot of people, but I tell you what, social media, when he come out, and especially when he's playing the Biden thing, they went shit bricked on him. I was reading through the comments,
that's probably why he doesn't have Twitter or Facebook.
It was people were like, "Well, Dave, you were my hero, not anymore." They were just, and that's being stupid. It is what it is. He can play wherever the hell he wants to. Doesn't bother me, but the new music I'm not too excited about.
A lot of musicians or whatever say things that, like the Dixie Chicks, say things that get themselves in trouble with their fan base or whatever. A good example that I have a friend that used to live here in Evansville that has had a couple of really good bands, and they've come up with some really good original music. And he's always had him and this one other guy were the core of whatever this band is. And, they may have a new drummer or a new bass player or whatever. Well, with this latest round of with the storming of the Capitol, the liberal versus conservative, Trump versus Biden, whatever you want to call it, their political differences, that killed that band completely.
Wow.
Just because one believes or favors Trump, one favors Biden, or conservative or liberal, or whatever you want to say. And that's it kind of bothers me that people let their political differences completely rule their lives.
Well, and that's happened on Facebook with friends of ours, and that's been, we've had people that we've been really good friends with, other podcasters, and this is really people, and then some other people, I've stopped arguing about it, and I don't get into it no more. I don't even talk about politics anymore. But you can make one comment, and I've had people just flat going, well, if you believe that, fuck you, I'm not going to be your friend. and then they're just gone. It's like, what happened? It don't make any sense. It's
you immediately get lumped in with everybody else just because you said something they don't agree with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People just need to.
Yeah, I've got, and it's funny you say it because it's true. I have a friend of mine, and we have very different political beliefs, and
it's me and Bill.
Huh? No,
I said it's me and Bill.
No, but we had to agree that, and the thing is that other person would just kind of, that person would start something, and I'm like, we're not going there. We're not. I was trying to take, and then they would start, they would kind of get it going. I'm like, I'm not doing that. We're not. Let's be friends, because this is going to create problems, and there's no reason for it. So
I have got family that have been posting on Facebook political stuff that I'm absolutely flabbergasted. I had no idea you were that fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Well, I just can't. But we can't even talk it. It's just to the point where, and it's like, well, that's it. So we just don't bring it up. politics is just off.
So back to music. We talked a little bit about Gene and Paul, and I think Paul stuff that I've been in, and I went back and looked at some of it on Twitter, and really Paul was really, most of his stuff that he's been posting has been more about wearing a mask and all that stuff. And it really isn't, it's COVID stuff and just his feeling. He has every right to say whatever he wants to do. And really anybody that, in my opinion, anybody that posts on somebody else's page and just does it to be shitty to them, that's just being shitty. You're just being shitty. And I'll be honest. I mean, I've posted on some people's pages that posted a political comment, and I was trying to help me understand what you're talking about, and it turned into a shit show because I was asking a question.
But because they take that as an attack.
Yeah, because it was honestly asking a question. Help me understand this, and it turned into a mess. But and then he also posted the stuff about the attack on the Capitol, and if they broke the law, right, I guess you're going to be in jail for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I have my beliefs, but it doesn't matter if it doesn't matter what side of the coin you're on. If it's illegal, it's illegal.
Yeah, you got to call it what it is.
Yeah. Everybody can go too far.
Yeah,
both sides.
Yeah.
So
I think there's definitely that aspect of it that just gets swept under the rug.
I have one final quick thing to say about politics. It's not necessarily about music, but I have posted something on Facebook or Twitter or whatever. So-and-so did such and such or whatever. And then somebody comes in with a comment, they must be a libtard or they must be a Trump-tard. Whoa. Where did you get politics out of that at all?
Yeah.
I know.
I've seen that on your page before. You get a little wound up about that.
Politics in there where it doesn't belong.
Yeah, you're done. See you. Have a nice day.
Yep.
That's like everybody. Hopefully, in a couple of weeks, we'll get back to a normal situation for a while. It's just been politics has been on. It's been on too many everybody's brain for too long, and we've had too much time sitting around doing nothing.
So to wrap this up, we need music.
We need music. We need concerts. We need
so
we
can quit focusing on politics.
Exactly. You're damn right. You got to. It's a simple.
Because when you're at a show, for the most part, you have no idea who the person is next to you. You have no idea what their beliefs are. You have no idea whether they voted for whomever, and it doesn't matter because you're all there for one reason.
Family.
You're there for that. That venue for that artist, and that's how it should be.
Yeah, hopefully it'll get back to that. We're hoping.
That's a pretty good ending, don't you think?
Good ending. It is.
Sure.
There you go.
Music will solve everything.
Music will solve everything.
Yeah. Good music.
Sometimes you need some thrash metal.
Well, now you're getting into subjective politics.
Right now I would go see the shittiest show ever just to go to a show, to be honest. No.
So
he's going to go see a hound show.
He's going to go to a Dixie Chicks show. No, they're just called the Chicks now. They dropped the Dixie part.
Right,
That's right.
The Dixie part.
Yeah, they can't.
Kind of like Lady Antebellum is now Lady A.
And that's a whole different story because they stole that from somebody they were doing a
Lady
record
Antebellum has to do with slavery. So that
what it was.
I guess Antebellum maybe was a plantation.
Well, Nashville area. That's Antebellum area down there.
It still indirectly has to do with politics.
It does. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But whatever.
All right, people. Y'all know the routine. 80sofrock.com, social media, past episodes. Like our Facebook page, like our Twitter page, like our YouTube page. They're all on the right-hand column of our Facebook page. And until next week, peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Ages of Rock podcast. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and most importantly, tell all your friends. Remember, you're never too old to rock. Until the next episode, peace out, folks.